Welcome into ProBox TV, heading toward February 8th, a huge card in San Antonio, Texas. How do you judge a card? A lot of times by the main event. This one has a combined 45 wins with 1 loss. That's right, Ramon Cardenas versus Brian Acosta. To help me break it down in studio, Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri. Ramon Cardenas, our main eventer, joining us now. First question I have is momentum on your side. 2024, 2 fights of ProBox TV, 2 stoppages. How do you keep that going come February 8th, man?
I just keep the same tenacity that I had last year. You know what I mean? Keep building. I know that I haven't done anything in the sport. Like I try to keep myself humble in a sense of like I haven't accomplished nothing yet, and I just got to keep building off of last year. You know.
You know, Ramon, you talk about, very humble, you haven't accomplished a lot in the sport. What you have done, every time you've been on ProBox TV, you've been very impressive. And, you've been one of the more impressive guys, in my opinion, on the network. Have we seen the best of Ramon Cardenas? And is this humble mentality going to keep improving you? What do you feel like you've been able to show your best yet? Or is the best still yet to come? And despite the fact that, in my opinion, you've shown a lot of the goods.
I don't think so, man. Honestly, I think like the Picasso fight was one of those fights where it was a rough and rugged fight. And my last fight, I had a messed up right hand. I messed it up in the third, and I fought all the way like that to the ninth. So really, it's one of those things where I know I could do way better than what I've shown before, and just gotta really just stay healthy in the fight, man, and just do what do what I've been training to do these last going on what 7 weeks already, 6 7 weeks.
Yeah, Ramon, welcome back to ProBox. Like the champ said, I mean, it's always fun having you on our air. Your fights are fantastic. You have a very rare stat that you didn't start out as so much of a knockout artist, but the better the opposition that you fought in the last couple fights, I think you're on a 4-fight knockout streak right now. The better the opposition has got, the more KOs that you've got. And you have 14 KOs, but you seem like you hit a lot harder than that. To speak to what has been the difference, where did you turn the corner to be like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm knocking all these guys out, because that's rare. Usually everybody gets their knockouts in the beginning of their career, not as they step up in class like you have.
I mean, honestly, man, ever since really like I hooked up with Joel Diaz, man, my mentality kind of changed in a sense of like he kind of gave me the advice of promoters and managers and just the fans in general as well, man. They like knockouts. You can win and you can win and people are like, oh, okay, that's good. It's fun. He won, whatever. But he tells me, he tells us like people like knockouts, and that's what you have to sell. So every fight I go in now, man, I try to keep the mentality of like, I'm trying to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to go in there and I'm trying to hurt you. So that's the mentality I've been having these last couple fights, and it's the one I'm gonna keep going on forward in my career.
Last time out against Jesus Ramirez Rubio, last time we saw you on ProBox TV, your coach was giving you hell in that fight. We remember it very, very well. You guys remember, Joel Diaz was on him in the corner. You can do more. You can do better. It seemed like when you got the knockout, I think it was the 9th round, you were almost more relieved that Joel wasn't yelling at you anymore, man. Did that motivate you? Did that help you? What was the cause and the motivation for all that, man?
I mean, it was the fact that I knew I could get the guy out. Like the game plan for last fight was to kind of like to get my timing down the first 2 rounds and then try to finish him by the 4th. And coming to third, I tried to pick up the pace and I messed up my hand. And I didn't tell him, like, you could ask him, like, I didn't tell him one time that, hey, my hand's messed up. And I just kept fighting because fighting mentality, man, for example, you got Paulie, man, that he probably broken his hands in fights and he don't say nothing. Because you got to keep fighting, the fighter mentality. You keep fighting. Chris as well. You probably went through injuries in his career where, man, it hurts, but it's not like you're gonna stop. As a fighter, you're gonna keep going. I tell this to people. I think fighters are the most competitive people in the world because you're going in there and you're willingly trying to hurt the other guy, and the other guy's trying to willingly hurt you. So mentally, I was like, I can't make an excuse. I can't tell him, oh, my right hand's hurt. I have to do something different. Or I was like, man, I'm gonna just keep going. So really it was just like when I got the knockout, it was more like, oh, finally, like I should have done this a long time ago.
I think Joel was saying the same thing, bro.
And not as nice, though. A lot of F-bombs in there.
Yeah. But, You talk about some of the things you're mentioning. It makes me wonder, your background in boxing. What was your amateur career like? We've obviously seen you now, and you've been very impressive. Well, what is your background in boxing? When did you start? What kind of amateur career did you have? Because you have a very cerebral, very what's the word I'm looking for? Thinking style.
Yeah, I had 106 amateur fights. I was a 4-time national champion. I was on the Team USA on the USA Knockouts in 2014. I was like ranked number 3 in the United States for like 4 years, like in a row.
See, that's why
You
I'm
know,
not surprised, man. Because that's what I was waiting. I was like, you must have had some kind of extensive career because you're a thinking fighter, but also like you talked about when you hurt your hands, that experience has to come into play because you have to figure out a different way to win the fight now. Because like you said, now you can't just not try to win the fight anymore because you got an injury. Your mindset shifts to, okay, how do I adjust and win this fight in this adjusted way due to this injury? And the fact that you were even speaking that way kind of made me think about that you probably got a lot of that experience.
yeah, I had a good amateur experience. Obviously, I tell this to people. If you didn't go to the Olympics or you weren't on, traveling on Team USA on a yearly basis, you didn't really do much. But me myself, I was able to kind of, being on Team USA and stuff on the USA Knockouts, kind of helped a lot. And being around some of the best, competition that there is. I tell this to people. My class, I had, me and Stephen Fulton could have fought like at the U.S. Championships. If he would have won and I won, we would have fought. So I grew up with all these people. So just having all those people around me, kind of like always, it's like anything, man. I'm sure you were in a class
and that
with
California region was always a pain in the ass to fight against, bro.
Yeah. Originally it was funny because I tell this to people, Texas, California, and like New York and DC, like are the
Philly,
biggest
for me,
rivalries
Philly
in
too.
boxing.
Yeah.
And
When I was
Philly
in
as well,
amateurs, Philly
like,
too, yeah. And then if
so
you
they
got
would-
somebody, then if you caught somebody from Wyoming, you knew you were gonna smoke them.
Yeah.
I feel bad saying it, but they got there. They didn't have a really tough go of it when they got there, so they kind of got there and became fodder.
Yeah, like you're gonna fight somebody from Oklahoma, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's an easy
Yeah.
one. That's an easy one. But if you're gonna fight somebody from DC, so even remember Cincinnati. Cincinnati had always a really good team.
Yeah, Cincinnati. And I'll tell you what, you knew who the guys were. So if somebody came from that region and it was a different representative, you were like, dude, that means he beat that.
Yeah.
That means he beat the other dude. This guy could fight even if I don't know him.
Yeah. So
Ramon, I mean, let's talk a little bit about your ProBox TV. You've been on our air a bunch of times. You've always impressed, like the champ was alluding to. Listen, now we're on the road. We're going to San Antonio. What does that mean? You got the platform, that ProBox TV, which has been growing immensely, and you've been growing with us. But now we're going into your backyard. Speak to that. What it's like? How many people are going to be there? What's it like for this homecoming?
I mean, man, it's a really big blessing, man, to have you guys there. I'm grateful for you guys because you guys are the ones who gave me the shot. There's a lot of promoters out there, but not every promoter is gonna like extend their hand and say, you know what, like there's a kid here that's really good and no one's giving him a shot. You know what, let's give him a shot. So I'm eternally grateful for ProBox TV and then just for you guys to be at home. For you guys to be in my city and just putting me on a platform where I'm able to show my talent and show it in front of everybody, man. My last fight was September of 2023 in San Antonio, and it was on Showtime and stuff, and to come back on a bigger platform, on a ProBox TV that, like you said, it's growing, man. You guys are getting huge. They're getting better, and just to be able to grow with you guys is such a blessing, man. And I think from what I know, from what people have called me and told me, they're like, oh, we've gotten 30 tickets, 40 tickets, and families have gotten tickets and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be a really good show.
Well, we cannot wait to see it. Ramon Cardenas, thank you so much for your time, man. Can't wait to see you February 8th.
Ramon,
Thank you, guys.
one more thing, Ramon. Not boxing related. I know you're making weight. Best Mexican food I ever had was in San Antonio, but I can't remember the restaurant. Give me a good Mexican restaurant in San Antonio.
Chilaquil.
Chilaqui, okay, because I gotta have me some good Mexican in San Antonio.
Look, if anything, whenever you get to town, just message me on Instagram or whatever. Follow me on Instagram, message me, and I'll send you the best restaurants that you can go to.
All right.
Always thinking with his stomach is our own Paulie Malignaggi. We appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you in San Antonio.
Same, guys. See you soon.
That's right. Everything's bigger in Texas. That includes fights. It includes Tex-Mex. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the fights. February 8th right here. ProBox TV. Don't miss it.